There's a story that says that a man was driving in farm country, and while he was driving, he veered off the road and his car got stuck in this ditch. And so he gets out of the car and he sees this farmhouse not too far from where his car got stuck. And he goes up to the farmhouse and he knocks on the door, and a farmer answers the door and asks him how he can help him. And the guy says, I was driving and veered off of the road and my car got stuck. Can you help me get my vehicle out? And he says, oh yeah, I can help you. I've got a mule that we can hook up to your car, and that mule will get your car right out. And so they go back to the barn, and the guy who was driving the car is following the farmer. And when they get back to the barn, he looks at this mule who is really old and really he just looks real pitiful. And the driver says, this mule can't pull my car out of the ditch. What are you thinking? And so the farmer tells the guy, shh, be quiet. And he calls the mule's name while they're walking back to the driver's car. He calls the mule's name and he says, come on. And he calls him by name. In addition to the name that he uses for the mule, he calls out 4 or 5 additional names. And he's telling all of them to come on. Come on, we got to go help him get his car. And the driver's looking around like, who are all these extra names that he's calling? Who are all these extra? There's nobody else here but this one mule, me, and this farmer. Why is this farmer calling out all of these additional names when he's talking to this mule? And he keeps repeating it. He calls the mule by his name, but in addition to this mule, he calls out 4 or 5 additional names, and he is encouraging each one of those names to come on to help this man pull out his car. And so when they get to the car, he hooks the mule up, and the guy is like, this is a waste of time. There's no way this old mule is about to pull my car out of the ditch. But before he could even finish his thought, the mule begins to tussle and pull, and after a while, this old mule who this guy didn't believe in, the driver didn't believe in, is able to pull this vehicle out of the ditch. And so when he successfully gets the car out of the ditch, the man looks back to the farmer and says, why were you calling all of these additional names? Why were you saying the name of the mule and then adding these additional names? And he said, the farmer looks at the driver and he says, you looked at the mule and you saw an old mule, someone who you didn't believe would be able to pull your vehicle out. But what you don't know about this mule is that not only is he an older mule, but he's blind. So he doesn't know that he was the only mule. When I called out other names, he thought he had support who was there, who was going to be able to help him pull your car out of the ditch. And he says, what I've learned in life is that oftentimes people limit themselves because they feel like they're alone. When you feel like you are by yourself, you limit yourself, you limit your capability, you limit what it is that you can do. But when you feel like you are surrounded by supportive people, by people who believe in you, people who are on the same mission as you, people who have a similar vision as you, you can accomplish a whole lot more. And he says, you saw an old mule, but when I put into his spirit that there were others around him who were going to accomplish the same thing that he was going to attempt to accomplish, he was able to do the impossible. He was able to do what you didn't even believe that he could do. And so I encouraged you today to remember that story. When you are alone and by yourself, when you don't have that support, you oftentimes do limit yourself because you don't believe in yourself enough to be able to accomplish what it is that you set out to accomplish. Get you some people around you who are supportive, who are encouraging, who are on the same path as you of trying to be successful or trying to accomplish certain goals in life. Because when you have that support system around you, you can accomplish so much more than what people may think you could never do. So I pray that blesses you, and I pray that all is going well with each of you. And if the Lord says the same, we will see you next week. Take care.